hard.
After that first inning with Ubaldo, for him to get through 7.
I told Wally after the first, after he was done, I said, could have made a little money there, him getting through 7. I was kidding him after his last outing. I asked him if he had changed uniforms. We had a different guy in there. I shook his hand after 7th inning. He said that he was in the right uniform tonight. So he was good. He actually got a little better as the game went on, I thought. He started getting a feel for starting the fastball a little bit off the plate and taking it to a corner instead of the middle.
Buck, you've seen Chris get on streaks before, Chris Davis. I mean, how much can he carry his team? How important can he be to this team when he gets
I don't use the word carry. I mean, there's so many things that have to happen to win a baseball game. Chaz Rowe, that's a big inning to pitch, to finish that baseball game without having to use Zach. I didn't have Darren tonight, and I didn't have Brock tonight. I was not going to use them, and trying to give Zach a blow there too. Little things like that. I was as happy with if you look at runs involved in runs tonight, Chris, with the catch he made, you can add those runs on too. So, Chris obviously had a big night offensively, but it's very hard to expect that type of production every night. And very quietly, he snuck up on, he's in top 5 or 10 in RBIs in the American League. Very quietly, he's grinded out another solid year for us.
I mean, he's on pace for 39 homers, 106 RBIs now.
That's pace. And what else? What other paces is he on?
Well, I didn't do all of them, but I mean,
I think that's a pretty good year.
This last week, I mean, he's had 5 homers.
And I don't know if you expect that to continue, but sometimes you'll take it whenever it comes, whether it's bunches or because it was obviously a big difference, probably the difference in the ballgame tonight, that and Ubi.
Okay, you talk a lot about shutdown innings. How important was it after you guys go down 2-0 in the first inning for Chris to hit that 3-run homer and to answer that?
Well, I think it was I thought one of the big plays tonight was nobody getting doubled off on the line drive. That's a hard ball to read. You're at second base, especially. You see the angle of the bat and the ball going to the right side. Your first move is to go. That's 2 good base running plays that allowed that inning to continue and have a 3-run homer instead of maybe nothing.
Dave Wallace usually doesn't go to the mound as early as he did. Was there something he said?
Well, he did. Yes, he did tonight because he needed to.
But was there something he said to Ubaldo that really made it? Dave's as good a pitching coach as I've ever had, and I'm not going to go over and ask him, what'd you say? I'm not going to, I just trust him explicitly and stay out of his way. He knows he doesn't have to ask me about going to the mound. The only time I ever do that is when I'm trying to make sure a guy's ready. I might ask him to go with a long one as opposed to a short one.
But you said before the game, sometimes the best moves are the ones that you don't make. CD's a guy whose name's been floating around there. And despite that, he goes out. Chris is a guy whose name's been floating around out there. And despite that.
How about us? By y'all. Or not you, but other people, yeah. I understand this time of year. Chris gets it. If you're not a good player, your name's not floating around. But we know how they slap stuff up against the wall. And the 1 out of 50 they're right on, they go, see, I told you so.
In spite of that, though, he goes out there and has a day offensively, defensively. How does that impact mentally the psyche of the team?
Not really. Impacts us by driving in 5 runs and making a play that probably saved a couple. That's how it impacts you. Our guys don't live in that world. I know people like to stay there. They really don't. I don't think it's just fluff or they're experienced. They've been through trade deadlines and stuff. And I feel like I got a pretty good pulse on it through the coaches and through the players as I'm out there. It's not a topic of conversation.
Toward that end, you have said previously you can win with this team whether you have an addition or not. When you see a performance like this where the offense is clicking, the pitching is solid, does that really back up your assertion?
I'm going to feel that way about, I always think in best case scenario. We know it's going to be a challenge, and but we're competing, we're engaged, and our guys will be as good as they're capable of being. I have a lot of confidence in that, and it's you guys have watched the game. We pitched well the last 4 or 5 games, and it keeps us in the games. And I like the moxie our guys have when the game's close.
How much did Baldo needing a start like that after coming off the first half and pitching so well, and then
it's funny how what should appear on paper we talk about all the time. And habitually in the last 3 or 4 years he's had strong second halves, and now he had a really strong first half. So go figure. So I think it's he's in a good place mentally. He doesn't wall around in self-pity. I think people really respected the way he came into camp this year, and he's a guy that his teammates pull for him because he doesn't make excuses, and he realizes the responsibility comes along with the commitment that we made to him. We're getting a good return for it this year.
Was Flaherty okay? He came in.
It's fine. Just I think that was our best defensive team there in the last inning. Okay, thank you.